Hello and welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be learning how to subtract two 3-digit numbers. Look at this first problem I have written down. 267 minus 135. Let's start by looking at the ones column. 7 minus 5 is equal to 2. 6 minus 3 is 3. 2 minus 1 is 1. The answer is 132. In this problem, we didn't have to use any borrowing. Let's look at the second problem. 267 minus 158 is equal to what? In the ones column, we can't do 7 minus 8, so let's borrow from the next column over. Cross out the 6, and it becomes 5. Put a 1 in front of the 7. 17 minus 8 now is equal to 9. 5 minus 5 is equal to 0. And 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. The answer is 109. This next problem is going to be 267 minus 179. In the ones column, we can't do 7 minus 9. So let's borrow from the next column over. Cross out the 6, and it becomes 5. And put a 1 in front of the 7 to make 17. 17 minus 9 is equal to 8. We can't do 5 minus 7, so let's again borrow from the hundreds column. Cross out the 2, and it becomes a 1. Put a 1 in front of the 5. 15 minus 7 is equal to 8. 1 minus 1 is 0, so we don't have to write anything there. This means that 267 minus 179 is equal to 88. Let's look at this next problem. 303 minus 125. We can't do 3 minus 5 in the ones column, so we're going to have to borrow. But we also can't borrow 1 from just 0. So what we're going to do is cross out this column and make it a 2. And then we're going to put 1 in front of the one that we borrowed in front of the 0. Now, since the tens column is 10, let's cross out this whole thing and make it 9. And then put the one that we borrowed from the tens column into the ones column. So now this is 13. After all of that work, now we can start subtracting. 13 minus 5 is equal to 8. 9 minus 2 is equal to 7. And 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. So we just did 303 minus 125 is equal to 178. Let's look at this other problem. 300 minus 135. In the ones column, we can't do 0 minus 5. But we also can't borrow from the tens column because it's also a 0. So let's look at the hundreds column. We're going to cross it out and write a 2. And then put the one that we borrowed in front of the tens column. Now we have 10 in the tens column. Let's cross this whole 10 out and put a 9 there, and take the one that we borrow from the tens column and put it in the ones column. Now, in the ones column, we have 10 minus 5, which we can do. So 10 minus 5 is equal to 5. 9 minus 3 is equal to 6. And 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. The answer is 165. Let's look at this last problem. 320 minus 106. Let's look at the ones column. We can't do 0 minus 6, so let's borrow from the tens column. The 2 becomes a 1, and we take the one that we borrowed and put it in front of the 0. So now we have 10 minus 6. That's equal to 4. 1 minus 0 is equal to 1. 3 minus 1 is equal to 2. So now we know that 320 minus 106 is equal to 214. That's how to subtract 3-digit numbers. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.